Alright guys, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming and Tech Reviews. It's been a while since I've done anything on the sim racing front, but we just had Logitech announce the RS50, which is an 8 Newton meter direct drive wheel that is compatible with PlayStation and PC or compatible with Xbox and PC. So first of all, with the RS50, if you buy the PlayStation version, the security chip is going to be in the base, and then I think you can get wheels that are actually Xbox ready. So if you're going to buy that, definitely do what you would do with a Fanatec and buy the base for PlayStation if you are planning to use this between consoles and PC. So guys, how does this mix up things with the T598 and the Fanatec DD Pro GT DD Pro, which is also 8 Newton meters, and then the T598 is set up as a 5 Newton meter wheelbase with a 10 Newton meter overshoot. I'm thinking I might be able to possibly get the RS50 maybe this year. It's not going to be anytime soon for sure, but I do want to test this wheel. I want to test it out. It's got the true force in it, everything. I mean, we're looking at 8 Newton meters, which in my opinion is very suitable for most racers. I think T598 with its 5 Newton meters and then the overshoot capacity with harmony effects and stuff like that. I absolutely love the T598. I think it is an incredible wheelbase. I think it does very good for that entry level, just get her done, plug and play type experience. Absolutely incredible. I love my T598. And with Thrustmaster, you have an extensive selection of wheels and other peripherals that you can purchase for that setup. Now, Logitech is a little bit different, okay? I've tested the G Pro. I didn't really care much for the G Pro. I definitely didn't care for the pedals as much. You might be different, but the new pedals that are coming with this RS50, they actually look a lot more in line with like the race line pedals that you're getting with the T598. So those are probably absolutely much better than what you would get if you bought the $349 load cell pedals from Logitech for that. I don't know if I like how Logitech is bundling the pedals separately and all of that stuff. That kind of gives me a little bit of like, oh man, and it's like 600, what is it, like $699 for the whole setup, but you can get the base for like $350 or something. I think it's like $350 or whatever. So that's actually pretty good. You get the 8 Newton meter base for like $350. That, my friends, is absolutely incredible. But then when you start putting on the wheel and the pedals and everything else, then that can balloon that cost. But I do like the fact that they've separated them out. I think it's $150 for the pedals. I do, in some ways I like it, in some ways I don't. And the ways I like it is like, yeah, you can buy the bundle or whatever, but you can also piece it together yourself. But at this time, I don't think Logitech has as many peripherals and wheel rims and stuff like that as you would find on like Fanatec or the T598. So with the T598, I would be looking at that because I believe the price has kind of went up for that when I'm looking around. It did start at $499. You got $500. You got the wheelbase. You got the wheel. Yeah, I mean, you got the wheel that came with that, as well as the race line pedals, which is a pretty good value, definitely decent. But now you're looking at the RS50 from Logitech being an 8 Newton meter wheelbase right out the gate, and that there is going to feel stronger. And then your other option is Fanatec, of course. Fanatec is probably my choice when it goes to sim racing, especially in that 5 to 8 Newton meter range. The GT DD Pro is an incredible wheelbase with some of the highest, and I mean this with all sincerity, the highest premium like wheels and other like pedal sets and stuff that you can get. In my opinion, right now as it sits, and this is kind of where I'm at with this. I haven't tested the RS50, so I'm not gonna count it out. But it is a very, I'm gonna say this, like, this is a very interesting build from Logitech. Now we'd heard about this a little bit while back. We actually seen, you know, during the Assetto Corsa Evo, showing that there was an actual Logitech, like a smaller Logitech wheelbase, and this is it. This is the RS50. This is an 8 Newton meter wheelbase. It does look good. I'm not gonna lie, like, this does look good. And you know, priced very reasonably in this market at $699. What you get from this, what you get from Logitech, what you get from Fanatec, what you get from Thrustmaster is pretty much guaranteed compatibility with games coming out. Like, you're going to have, the features are going to work pretty good. I will say this, the T598 did come out, definitely feeling a little bit a wash or whatever. But as time goes on and things start to get more programmed for it, you get the things like, shift jolt and stuff like that, which is gear jolt, which is pretty cool. Like, these features do actually feel good, and they do bring a level of immersion that you just don't get from other wheelbases that you would buy out there. So when it comes to like my three favorite picks, obviously are going to be Fanatec, Logitech, Thrustmaster. At least with this new wheel, I would put the Logitech in the middle, but Fanatec is my number one for me and for my racing needs. The Fanatec just has such a wider selection of accessories that you can get. You've got cockpits, you've got wheels, you've got rims, you've got bases, different bases that start from literal freaking, I don't think you can get their belt driven anymore, but literally start from like 5 Newton meters and go all the way up to like 21 Newton meters or 20 Newton meters or whatever. So you've got like a wider selection of Fanatec. They've been doing it for a very long time. Logitech's the same, but I mean, with the True Force filling in there. Now, I loved it on the G923 or whatever it was that I had, or G929 or 23, whatever it was that I had. I donated that to my nephew. But that was actually incredible. I love the way that True Force felt. Like, when you could feel like the tire grip on the road and stuff, and you could feel that tactile feeling and stuff. It didn't translate over to the G Pro for me. So when I'm thinking about the RS50, I'm like, what is it going to actually translate this time? Am I going to get those effects? Am I going to get that True Force feeling that I fell in love with on that entry-level wheel that Logitech has? I'm hoping that that's the case, because if that is the case, then the RS50 is a very, very competitive wheelbase for that entry level. I mean, these are considered, you know, they can be competitive wheelbases, but they are designed for you on your consoles to sit there and have fun, and be able to experience sim racing with a really good, robust amount of support from the actual games that they come with. You can usually set all of these wheelbases to auto, and they feel absolutely incredible right out of the gate. The Thrustmaster T598 though, I do like the T598. I do. I definitely put more time and effort into my Fanatec setup, just due to the fact that like it has a wider selection of better load cell capacity for their pedals and stuff. Like, I love my Club Sport V3 inverted pedals. I think that's probably like one of the best things that I've ever bought. And then my GT3 Endurance rim. Absolutely incredible. I love that. And the premium feel that you get from a Fanatec product. There might be Acertech, the new Initium. If they could actually get that licensed for PlayStation and Xbox, you're looking at a whole nother, you're looking at like a whole nother experience coming into sim racing. You know, you've got Acertech, you've got obviously MOZA is probably one that I've thought about it, but I just don't see myself doing like a MOZA anytime soon. I would like to, you know, stick to like Logitech and Acertech. If they can bring that to the console level, I would try it. But I don't really need these for console anymore, to be completely honest with you. I do all my sim racing on PC now, but you know, with Gran Turismo 7 bringing the new Corvette CXR to that game first, that really does, you know, put me more in a position to where here in the next, like the coming weeks, I will be starting to I'll be starting to get back into sim racing again, especially on some Gran Turismo 7 with that new Corvette CXR. I actually have driven it a little bit, and I'm like, ooh boy, that's pretty fun. But I'm just waiting for the temperature, you know, to come down just a little bit more, so that I don't have to have my fan on while I'm trying to make content for you guys. That's the biggest thing. Summer is so freaking hot here in the desert that it's just, it's way too hard. I had a lot of videos that I made last year that I just had to have like a fan blowing in my face the whole time, and it was really affecting the overall sound quality of the videos. So right now, guys, this freaking Logitech, it seems pretty interesting. Okay, like it seems interesting, and you've got an affordable price for this. These wheelbases that are 500, 600, up to 800 bucks for like Fanatec. You get what you pay for, like you do. Like if you buy a $500 direct drive wheel from Thrustmaster, like you get a really good experience, one that in seclusion, like you would not be questioning the overall experience that you're getting out of a T598. That wheelbase is awesome. The overshoot thing is really cool. It delivers an exciting amount of like force feedback and stuff when it's necessary. When it's not necessary, you get a really good overall feeling out of the harmony effects. It feels incredible. I played Rensport. That's coming to console here pretty soon. Rensport on the freaking T598 is an absolute monster, as is Forza Motorsport on the PC. Once the T598 actually gets in your hands soon, it's supposed to be coming soon. For the Xbox guys, you're gonna love this thing. Like Forza Motorsport feels absolutely incredible on the T598, and the T598, that 5 Newton meters of power is what I would call entry level, is what I would call the bare minimum of what you would need for the overall force feedback to feel on a direct drive wheel. Now I absolutely have went from belt-driven wheels all the way up to 15 Newton meters, and 15 Newton meters for me just felt like a little bit too unnecessary, especially on some of the games that you're playing. Obviously you can turn it down, and then you're leaving something on the table. You need a bigger, beefier, more rigid rim or wheel cockpit for those types of wheels. That's what I would recommend. Yes, you can run it on smaller stuff like the FGT cockpit. The FGT cockpit from Next Level Racing. Yes, you can run those higher rims, but you just get so much torque and torque out of that it you know kind of feels unstable. Like it feels, I don't know exactly how to put that, but like having that much power just feels a little bit too extreme for what you're doing, for what you're trying to play, and it actually can take away from the overall experience. But 8 Newton meters and under, that is the sweet spot. 5 to 8 Newton meters is literally the sweet spot for a lot of people, and it is really good. Yes, you can go up, but like I said, the higher up in Newton meters you go, the more you're going to need to invest in your overall platform. You're going to need something more rigid, more strong. With 8 Newton meters and under, you can legit buy wheel stands for those, pull them up to your couch and utilize those and get an incredible, fantastic experience out of your sim racing, and it's not going to break the bank. Like you can get this fully set up for just under $1,000. You can buy things like the Next Level Racing GT Racer for like 400 bucks. Good cockpit, and it feels pretty dang good. Like obviously that one's mounted directly for the T598, and then you can also throw obviously Logitech's new wheel on there. These are more suitable for these wheelbases. As you can see that, you know, the Fanatec comes with table clamps, the Logitech comes with table clamps, the Thrustmaster comes with table clamps. Not something that I would necessarily recommend, and if you can get yourself a cockpit or a wheel stand, I think that would be better for you. But 8 Newton meters and under is what I call the sweet spot. Now I am going to be upgrading my wheelbase, my Fanatec, to the DD Plus Extreme from Fanatec. I want that. I'm going to be upgrading my whole platform, you know, in the coming, I don't know, I wanted to do it this year, but then I bought the 5090, so I don't know if I'm going to be doing that, but I'm probably might be able to get this Logitech RS50 and test that out, but it's going to be once it cools down a little bit. I'm not going to jump out and do it right now. It's still too hot for a lot of that stuff, but with the Fanatec, guys, like I said, I love my GT7, my GT DD Pro. I think it's incredible. Obviously, I would recommend piecing that whole thing together and get a better wheel rim that comes with that, because the one that comes with that setup is just a bit too small at 280 millimeters. I'd go for something about 300 millimeters. I believe that this new RS50 comes with like either a 280 millimeter rim, or I think it comes with maybe the same one that came with the GT Pro, so I think it's almost 300. I didn't like that wheel rim. I didn't like it at all. So when I buy the RS50, I'm probably just going to get one of the custom wheels that come with it from Momo or something. But yeah, guys, I'm actually pretty excited about this. And I do get excited when the big three, in my mind, bring out new wheel rims and stuff, because then that's going to give us a lot better competition with Logitech, Thrustmaster, Fanatec. These three usually have really good, robust setup, and there's a lot of research and development to go into these. They don't just like with MOZA, aren't they on their like third wheelbase? SimMagic's on their third wheelbase or whatever. They just keep pumping these things out every couple of years, and then you know, like with Fanatec, Logitech, Thrustmaster, they're well thought out products that try to meet that customer demand and price, and they're well thought out. There's a lot of research and development that goes into these wheels. It was a long time from the belt-driven wheels that Thrustmaster used to produce until they actually brought out a direct drive, and they have the T598, which is absolutely incredible, a 10 Newton-meter wheelbase, and then now you have the T598, which is incredible. The features and the programming and the software are a lot better for these overall experiences, at least in my opinion, from what I've tested out there in the market to date. I've just come back to the simple fact that, like, when True Force comes out, True Force feels good. It actually does what it says it's going to do. I felt like the on the G Pro though, it did kind of feel like it was getting drowned out. It was getting drowned out. Like, you could feel it sometimes, but it was getting drowned out. If I could find a way to set that up, see, it wasn't my wheel, I was just testing my son-in-law's, but if it was mine, I could have had more time to like sit there and go through all the motions and get that thing set up. So I'm really excited about this RS50. I am. I'm excited about this RS50. I would love to compare that to my GT DD Pro, as well as my Thrustmaster T598. I think this is a pretty good trifecta for the console / entry-level PC gaming market. I think these are incredible wheels, and I think any one of them would probably more than justify the cost that you would put into that. And these are not wheels that you're going to find sitting in your closet. You're going to actually use them a lot more than you would think. So that's all I got to say about that right now. Hopefully I'll look into it and see about, you know, getting that. Obviously my sim racing stuff's going to start kicking off here again pretty soon. Got a lot of stuff to cover. We're still covering the haptic feedback pad from Next Level Racing that they sent out to me. Absolutely incredible. Adds all the effects that I was missing from the T598, the gear jolt and all of that stuff. It actually brings that to the Fanatec platform. It's really nice having a haptic feedback setup. It really is pretty cool. And then, you know, as time progresses, you know, we'll start to be able to cover some of this stuff. So, all right, my friends, if you like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.